That's God willing. I'm trying to change the world. Gotta teach the children. I ain't never letting up. I gotta stack a billion. Stay away from the fake like they reptilian. Hill game on the rise, know we all killing. I got blood in my eyes and I can't see.
Okay, please like and subscribe, and like I said in my community tab, go there to see what happened with the rest with Sasuke was a girl. But anyways, well, we're doing a remastered version, and it will be a movie, 1-part video. Don't say do a part 2 in my comments. It's the end, so watch the movie to the end. And so without further ado, let's get into it. And so in this one, Tobirama will also get in what's it called? Like what happened with Mito and Hashirama. And so Mito's sister Eiko Uzumaki marries Tobirama, and in this one Tobirama will be 5 years younger, and so Minato will be born like right after the second Shinobi War. And so he marries Kushina, and he'll be named Minato Senju because he'll be watched by like Anbu when he's a kid, and so you could say he gets more training. He probably will learn water ninjutsu also and stuff, and he'll have a better theory of creating, and so you could say that he adds a wind element to it, so a wind release Rasengan, but not the Rasen Shuriken. So like Minato will damage Obito more probably, and so he dies, taking the Nine Tails with him, and yeah, and so Naruto is more part Uzumaki than Senju, but still is a Senju. He's like 25%, my guy, and so Naruto gets put in the orphanage and stuff. Like, it's not good. It's the same way. And so, when he gets into the academy, when he's at age 9, Hiruzen decides to go to the academy to check on his sensei's grandson. Oops, my bad. He went to go to check on his sensei's grandson, and you could say that Hiruzen looks out more for Naruto since it's his sensei's grandson. So yeah. And so when he sees what they're doing to his sensei's son, and that his sensei created the academy, Hiruzen is having none of it, my guy. And so yeah, this is what Hiruzen be doing. Listen, Hiruzen changes the whole academy. And so then he starts helping out Naruto and tells Naruto about his parents, and so Naruto's happier with Hiruzen than original, and tell him about his burden and stuff. And so Hiruzen gives Naruto some Senju Taijutsu scrolls, aka Tsunade's Taijutsu, but yeah, and some chakra control. And yeah, from like the Senju clan library. And so, and in the book on Fuinjutsu that his father made. And so, yeah. And so, Naruto starts his training with it. And Hiruzen helps out Naruto sometimes. And after like a year of training with Hiruzen like once a week, Naruto has become like top 5 in his class. When you're trained by the Hokage, that happens. And so yeah. And Minato's grandmother died, and Naruto has I believe he has because he's not going like they're not going to create like they're not going to have one kid, and so Naruto does have a cousin in the Anbu, but it'll be too suspicious if his cousin helped like took care of him, so his cousin watches him in the shadows, and so that's what happens. And so Naruto, he he starts training, and then he reason has his cousin start training Naruto when he can't now, and so Naruto has done chakra control exercises with his cousin and getting to know her. Her name will be Mito Uzumaki or something like that, in honor of the Uzumaki princess. And so Naruto learns a lot with his cousin, and so when they do the taijutsu matches, Naruto actually is able to beat Sasuke Uchiha, and will his cousin tell some stories about the Uchiha clan and their KK Genkai, and that the Uchiha always hated the Senju even when we were together for no apparent reason. And so Naruto says then the Uchiha are bastards because they like after they're fighting, they're still mean to us. And Mito shrugs and says, "It's life, cousin." And so Naruto smiles at her and says, "Okay, Mito-chan." And so she smiles back and says, "Well, let's go." And this will be you could call it Mito and Naruto will get together to restore their clan. Look, man, not if Naruto marries another person, the Senju blood will die. I'm sorry, but if I'm gonna do a Tobirama legacy video, we need to keep the Senju line going. So I have to create a OC, and so that's what I'm gonna do. And so, yee. And so, well, now Naruto gets ready to train more. And so after when he turns to 11, Naruto's finally top of the class with academics and stuff thanks to Mito helping him out. And so Mito wants to see Naruto's chakra natures. I actually have an idea. Look, check it. For Naruto's I'm gonna give him a Kiki Genkai, of course. I want it to be something unique, but I'm not sure. It has to be something combined with wood release, and the only thing that could probably combine is Hyalton, ice release, lava release, maybe crystal release, or I can add like a nature twist to it. And so I'm gonna give him a mix of high end and wood release, yes. And he'll be more aligned with nature than Hashirama. Yeah, I think high end is good. So like whirlpool is based on water, and so ice is when it's melted it turns into water. So it'll have a Uzumaki twist, you could say. And so Naruto has wind, water, earth. Yeah, so he has wind, water, earth. Yep, he has 3 chakra natures. And Mito widens her eyes. And then when the chakra paper does all that changes, they then just turn into blocks of frozen wood. And she goes to Hiruzen about this, and Hiruzen widens his eyes, and then says, "Frozen wood? let's say Naruto-kun has something to do with the Uzumaki clan and the Senju. And so, then Hiruzen says, well, when whatever you can, train Naruto in his new Kekkei Genkai and use some of the Senju scrolls if you have to. And Mito nods, wanting to help out her cousin, and secretly, the boy she has a crush on. And so, Naruto gets used to his new Kekkei Genkai during this year, learning how to you could say manifest it and use it, and it's harder since he has gotten frostbites and more because of this, and so it's hard for Naruto to use it. But he's able to do what he does, and he basically has to recreate all of Hashirama's jutsu, but has a good base because it's frozen. It's frozen, and so you could say that fire release doesn't affect the wood release, and so it'll be harder to freeze the wood, and it's stronger. And Naruto also has gotten Tobirama's sensory abilities. I mean, Tobirama was known to be a censor. Literally, it shows that if you do not believe me, it shows that in the anime when Tobirama got surrounded from the Kinkaku unit, and so yeah, and so well now it's time. Naruto goes out to uh so Naruto has gotten frozen release, frozen wood release, um frost tree binds, and so in a frosty attack, it's like basically encircles like the opponent, and they get frozen. And so, yeah, that's what I mean. And so, that's the only jutsu Naruto can use, but is learning how to create more. And Hiruzen is also satisfied with Naruto's training, and it's his last year. And so Hiruzen actually allows Naruto to get his legacy and announces it in the village. At first was in an uproar, but then they see that it's actually true. Naruto is a senju, and so then they start treating Naruto kinder. And also Sasuke Uchiha, you could say, dislikes Naruto more due to the Uchiha Senju rivalry, and would probably not want to socialize with him. And so, yeah. And so, Naruto and Mito spend more time together, and that's what happens. And Mito will actually apprentice Naruto because she's the only one that knows about his Kekkei Genkai, and Kakashi can't do much to help out Naruto. He was at first there for Naruto because I believe Hiruzen wanted like the Sharingan can control like the Nine Tails, and so to control Naruto, you could say. But he was there mostly for his ninjutsu, but he didn't teach him any, and so he's going with Mito, and plus she knows water ninjutsu also and stuff, and so Mito starts training Naruto in being able to harness nature, and so she starts off with wind because that's what makes the wood cold. And so if he can control it, maybe he can make himself not get a frostbite. And so she starts training him in that. And by the end of the year, he's able to get the two exercises, the waterfall and the cutting the leaf, and has learned even some wind release jutsu. And so she Mito uh just trains him in that, and she also helps him with the Tsunade Taijutsu that she's really proficient in. And Naruto at first wasn't proficient with it, but then he's gotten better with it, with the chakra control part, and can even use it up to 10 minutes now. And so Naruto is high tuning level, you could say, with his taijutsu, but he needs to learn how to dispel genjutsu and detect it. And so once he's able to detect it and stuff, he'll be tuning level. And so Naruto so when Naruto graduates, he is actually inducted into um uh what should he get inducted into actually I'm gonna leave that for his the crystal release. So he will be he will become a tuning. The Hokage will make him a tuning, and he'll be apprenticed because when you're I'm gonna just make up this random rule. When you're a genin, you have to be put in a team, and so the Hokage just advances him to tuning for the love of it. You know what I mean? And so when that happens, Naruto is, you could say, would he be done? Would he not? And so Naruto does missions with his cousin, and they also learn from the council that they're being put in the Clan Restoration Act with each other, and that they will have to have two clan heirs by the age of 17. And so they both nod, and they also get to used to know each other better, and even are in love. And so because from all the trials and errors, getting used to each other, they literally spent time together since Naruto was 9 every day. And so you get a bond from spending with a person from that long. And so Naruto has done missions like assassinations, and the wave mission is coming up. And so yeah. And so after like 10 to 20 B rank missions, they get put on the A rank mission to go help Kakashi's team. And so they arrive just in time when the Battle of the Bridge is starting. And so when Naruto arrives, he says wood style, wood pillars, frozen wood pillars. So it surrounds Haku's ice mirrors. And then he says wood style, wood vines. And so these frozen wood vines just pop out from the ground, and so it covers him and Sasuke. And so then Naruto makes 10 shadow clones, and they surround Haku, and he has the wood absorb Haku's chakra, and Naruto ends up killing Haku because he's not more afraid of killing a person since he's used to it now with his missions and stuff. And so Zabuza dies and Haku does, and Mito and Naruto end up being able to kill the bandits, and Naruto ends up killing Gato, And so they name it the Great Naruto Bridge for killing Gato. And so, yeah. And so, and so, well, they head back, and Hiruzen, says to Naruto that you can, in a few months, you after the tuning exams, you could, go for Jonin, or you can go right now. And so Naruto says, I want to go right now. And Hiruzen says, okay, you have 2 weeks to get ready. And so Naruto nods. And Mito and Naruto go on a heavy training trip using the Shadow Clone method, learning the Rasengan. And he learned some Kenjutsu to fight with. And using more Tsunade's strength too. And so when he takes the Jonin exams, it's like the tuning exams, but in this one, it's like a person tries to seduce you. This isn't Kumo, and so they try to seduce Naruto, but he doesn't fall for it and stuff, and he passes. It's just like the first round basically, but it's harder questions, and they also try to get like stuff out of Naruto, and Naruto doesn't budge from his training. And so after Naruto, well, is done. And so, well, for the second part, he goes into, I'ma say clouds of Kumo or like rock. And so Naruto, when he sees teams, Kumo and Iwa teams up to try to capture Naruto from orders from their cage to get the Senju blood or kill the Yellow Flash's son. And so Naruto ends up fighting them, and so Naruto uses Tsunade's taijutsu, breaking a person's skull, like hitting him in the face, and he even uses some of his frozen wood style to kill, sadly, them. And so Naruto, he, you could say, is done ish with the thing, gets some scrolls, and it's done. And so the preliminaries doesn't have, there's no like big crowd or anything, you just become Jonin. And so I guess their preliminaries is the finale. And so Naruto faces Kurastachi from Iowa. And so he gets in a heavy Kenjutsu match with her, going blow for blow. Then she pulls out her lava style, and then Naruto says frozen wood style wall. And Kurachi smart saying lava can beat wood, but then the lava just becomes molten, you could say, and then she sees that the wood is actually frozen, and then all the cages widen their eyes besides Hiruzen, and Onoki glares at the Hokage and the Raikage, and the Mizuki looks impassive but wonders, how does this kid have part of the high-end bloodline? Thinks, I'ma say that Yager died early or something. And so, that's what happens. And so, Naruto gets done and becomes a Jonin. And so, him and Mito go on a month training trip, getting better at his taijutsu and creating more ninjutsu, and is able to do wood style, frozen wood style, sea of trees. That makes just tons of trees. Yee. And so, after this, it's the tuning exams, And so Naruto proctors for the third exam and plays a Jinma, and then the attack happens. But in this one, Naruto is is able to control Gaara and actually is able to place a seal on Gaara that knocks him out. And so Hiruzen sadly dies. And so then they have to name a new Hawkage. And so um they ask Naruto to become Hokage. Not because Naruto's currently one of their strongest ninja and has the legendary wood release that's actually stronger than Hashirama's without more jutsu and stuff. And so Naruto gladly accepts, and Mito becomes the new clan head and is in charge of the clan. And so Naruto trains when he's off of Mito, and so yeah. And so Sasuke goes rogue, and when he does go rogue, Naruto can't go, and so Sasuke actually is able to leave the village, which is sad, but it's a sad truth. And so Naruto, I'm gonna say Naruto, makes Kakashi go in charge, and he goes to get Tsunade, but this time, um, yeah, they just get her, you know, they get her, they get Tsunade along with Jiraiya, and so they take her back to the Leaf, and she starts. And Naruto has Tsunade do her program, start her program, and help out the hospital even more, and she heals Rock Lee and them. And when he does all this, Naruto also is making the academy better. He's basically getting ready for war, and he also starts practicing the flying Rajin in a combined version of his father's and his grandfather's, with in between the little circle thing, um, the the formula that Minato had, making time slow down for him, and it is given like 2 seconds to decide the decision of like how he'll kill a person or something, or what his positioning will be when he's there. And so yeah, and so Naruto has mastered the flying Raijin in 3 years, and has became cage level. And so he has even made the Anbu better by every new recruit gets trained and has to master 2 chakra natures, and has to master like using like dual kunai or kenjutsu or something like that. And so the Anbu has gotten way better, and so has the academy. And so Lesson Ninja has died on missions, and Naruto has a child at 16 named Tobirama Jr. Yeah, Tobirama Jr. and is still a baby that Mito's taken care of. And a daughter's on the way that'll be named Kushina. So yeah. And so then the Gara thing happens, and so Sakura goes, and like Sakura was one of Tsunade's apprentices, and so she goes with Kakashi and Guy, and Naruto also takes root from Danzo and finds Danzo guilty, and Danzo's killed because Naruto's good like that. And Naruto has also gotten better in wood release also. And so, after all of this, Gara, the same thing happens with, I'ma just say, Konohamaru, Konohamaru did better, like in the academy, since there was more stuff, and Konohamaru is actually tuning level in this one earlier, and so he um it does that same speech and stuff. And Konohamaru, is happy that Naruto was Hokage, so he didn't do the same thing as original. And so yeah, and so um Naruto then finds out Kumo, Iwa, and Kiri waged war. And so then Naruto knew that this was going to happen soon, and see here's what Madara and Obito wanted. I mean Obito wanted to do, and Zetsu, and so he, and so Zetsu proposed. Black Zetsu proposed the idea to try to start a war between all the nations, and makes the nations want to attack the Leaf, and so they waged war. And so Suna comes to the Leaf's aid and some small countries too. And so while this was happening, Naruto and the Leaf gets ready, and Naruto knew that this was going to happen soon, and they have more shinobi. They actually have over 40,000 shinobi in this one, because the academy is better, and so less ninja die, and also the Ambu's stronger, and so it's 50,000 versus 40,000. And so Kumo and Iwa go to the borders, and Naruto makes 100 shadow clones, and they all use flying Rajin and decimate their armies. And Obito sees the massacre that happens, and so then Kumo sends A, and Onoki sends the 4 and 5 tails. And so Naruto, along with an Ambu squad, the strongest, fights the 8 tails. And Naruto even goes 1 tails and is able to kill is able to seal the 8 tails inside of his um newborn daughter, meet Kushina. And so they have the 8 tails now in their possession, and so Naruto also fights the 4 and 5 tails. And after that, after tons of shinobi dead, the Akatsuki attack, but Naruto is able to kill Kisame, and so he ends up killing Madara in an epic battle. And so Naruto also um annexes Kumo and Iwa and leaves Kiri alone. And so now we're going into Boruto. There's not much when Naruto becomes Hokage early, there's not much to talk about. Paperwork. And so Naruto has 5 to 6 children, and his latest child was Boruto and Miko Senju, and he also married to his wife Eiko Senju, and they are happily married. And Sasuke also came back to the village, and so the Leaf is now the really strongest nation. And yeah, and so also Kushina Senju has became Ambu captain, and she is also able to, is in control with the 8 tails, and also befriended Kurama. And so Gayuki and Kurama talk often. And so Sasuke has the internal Mangekyo, and Naruto has mastered his frozen wood release, and the Flying Rajin, and has become the strongest Hawkage to ever live. And Tsunade and Jiraiya end up also getting together like the fans want. And so, Tsunade and Jiraiya have a kid. Like I'm gonna say, it's and this person's name is Toka Senju, and she is actually married to Minato Senju. Yes, sir. And so the Senju clan is now populated with 15 members, and they are stronger than ever. And the Senju clan is now known as the strongest clan and a clan not to mess with. And so, when that happened, that's tough. That's very tough. And so, the Uchiha clan also gets repopulated by Sasuke marrying civilian girls and like Karin and Sakura, and has made like 15 members also. And so, yeah. And so the Senju and Uchiha clan are stronger now and have Sharingan too. And so, yeah. I mean, what's more? And so, I'm trying to get to that 40-minute mark, and so I'm gonna just keep on talking. And so when Momoshiki fights, Naruto goes into the 1,000 hands thing, and is able to take down Momoshiki, and he actually seals him away, like they did with one thing. And so Naruto gets 6 paths when this time he gets 6 paths when Ishiki Otsutsuki attacks. And so on top of the 6 paths with his Senju stuff, Naruto awakens the Rinnegan. And so they defeat Ishiki Otsutsuki by killing him this time. And the world saved, yay. And so Naruto ends up growing old. And so Minato Senju ends up becoming the Rakudame Hawkage. And so the Senju clan goes back to its full glory. And I mean, you could say it's a wrap. But I'm gonna have to get to that, the end. And so, Boruto Senju ends up marrying Uchiha Sarada, and it brings the clans closer together. While Sakura dies along with Sasuke and Karin and stuff, and so the clan goes on, and the Leaf will prosper without anything happening to them. And so right now I'm about to talk about what's the next what if, in like the background, since I have the time. And so the next what if, according to right now, will be what if Naruto was like Itachi and Shisui. And so Naruto will live within the Anbu headquarters, because his heritage will, like, people recognize him as like an actual Uzumaki and know about the Uzumaki clan more, and some people will actually respect him, and Kumo will try to kidnap Naruto at a young age, and after multiple attempts, Hiruzen takes Naruto to the Anbu headquarters and stuff. And so you'll see what happens with that in the next what if. But I still have 50 seconds. And so did you see the Cleveland Browns lose? I mean, bro, the Browns lost. That's tough. I'm sorry. It's just tough. No, I'm about to see my Cowboys how they did. And if we lost, I don't know. Yes, sir, we're beating the Philadelphia Eagles right now. There's 2 minutes remaining. You know what I'm saying? It's the Cowboys. We're the GOATs. Yes, sir, the Panthers beat the Washington football team. You already know. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know how it is. Okay, time to end the what if.